If you haven't figured it out by now, it is the political season. And what I've been trying to do over the past few weeks is just try to bring individuals who are going to be on your ballot prior to September or early September. We had folks on who were running in the primary. Well, since the primary, we're trying to get the folks and the individuals on who are running in the November 3rd general election. A lot of the folks are local officials, whether they're running for a state office, maybe running for a county office. We try to make sure that we have folks on to best represent their campaigns and why they're running for office. And joining us today is Carina Mompelas. She is running for County Treasurer, Plymouth County Treasurer. Carina, welcome to our conversation.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Kevin.
For folks who may or may not know you, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Carina Mompelas, and I am running for Plymouth County Treasurer. I am a financial analyst and also an IT program manager. I've lived in Brockton for 17 years. I ran for it to mayor last year, so I'm really involved when it comes to the Brockton community, and I try to get involved in other towns also through volunteering organizations. And over my years as a financial analyst, I've helped businesses grow their revenues, and I've also helped individuals increase their finances. So anything that has to do with budgeting in a productive way, I do. And I decided to run for county treasurer to restore ethics in an office that is lacking so much of it. I mean, I've read a lot of things throughout the years in the media, and I think that it's time that we start aiming for change.
What was it about this particular office that you decided that this would be the ideal race to get involved with?
Well, first, it is my main focus was to restore ethics and bring back accountability. I do believe that I do believe that we're entitled as the people to hold government officials accountable for their failures to their constituents. And I do feel like the current treasurer has failed his constituents in many ways. For instance, the $41 million scandal featured on the front page of the Boston Globe a few years back. They called it the pay-to-play scheme, and trust me, it was a pay-to-play scheme.
Okay. Well, if you will, elaborate a little bit on this. So what exactly are you talking about?
Well, a few years back, the current treasurer decided to start a class action lawsuit against certain companies taking financial interest in the retirement fund. And for that lawsuit, he hired his lawyer friends in New York, not Boston, New York, to represent us, Plymouth County, the client. At the end, this case didn't end up going to trial. It ended up in a settlement where the county, the client, ended up with $40,000. His lawyer friends ended up with $41 million. And I guess probably for compensation for picking him, he ended up with $100,000 from those same lawyer friends in his campaign account. And those are just the paper trails. And to me, that's just clear evidence of lack of ethic. And it's just an ethical violation. And I do believe that he needs to be held accountable for that.
One of the things that the treasurer, the county treasurer, oversees is the retirement of the county employees. Give me your thoughts on being someone, if you're elected, that you would be the chairperson of that board that oversees the retirement funds for so many county employees.
Yes, well, I think it's very vital. I think that role, the role that the treasurer plays in the retirement fund is very vital. I mean, a couple years ago, the accountant was caught stealing $16,000 from the retirement fund, and it was happening over a number of years. And I can guarantee you that as the treasurer, I would not only take accountability for that, because it is the treasurer's job to oversee the employees in the retirement, working on the retirement board. For that to have happened, and for him to not have been apologetic, but just swept it under the rug, I don't think that was okay. And it just shows how much he prioritizes the lack of how he So I'm so sorry. I'm going over I'm thinking my words. But that just shows you that he does not prioritize his constituents and that he does not care about how we feel or letting us know what's going on in that office, because I think to me that's a big deal. So I do believe and I do know I would do a better job of overseeing it, that the retirement fund, and making sure that we're getting the right revenues, and making sure that the budget is being handled in the right way for the retirement fund.
What is your understanding as to how any of the monies that are put into the retirement fund, how they are performing and how they're diversified, especially during these tough financial times? Have you had a chance to look into any of that?
So I've looked at it briefly. I've been more focused on the general aspect of the treasurer job, but I do believe the money that's being put in. I do believe that we can bring in more money into the retirement fund. I do believe the disbursement of it. I didn't see a major problem with the disbursement, but I do believe that we can get more revenues into the retirement fund.
Okay. Have you had a chance to talk to any of the residents in and around the 27 communities that make up Plymouth County to talk to them about the race? And have they expressed any particular concerns or issues to you?
Yes, I have spoken to them, and to be honest with you, I'm being completely honest. I'm not gonna pretend like they said, "Oh, this is a bad guy." They just didn't know who he was. I mean, this guy has been in office for 14 years, and a lot of people did not know that he was our treasurer. And to me, that is a problem. It's not about showing up on re-election year, but it's about being there for the whole 6 years that you're in office. It's about communicating. It's about being involved in the community, talking to your constituents, finding out, hearing from them, and finding out how you can better do your job. And I do feel that he has not been doing it, just based on the fact that a lot of people don't know him, and the people that do know him didn't have many positives to say.
You had mentioned earlier running for mayor in Brockton. You look at this year, and I'm where I'm going is talking about campaigning. You ran for office a year ago, and it was vastly different than this year, knowing that we have a pandemic. What has it been like campaigning for you as a candidate who actually has expanded your footprint running for office? What's it been like getting your word out?
Honestly, it's been a little tough. It was a little different just because last year in the mayor's race, everything was normal. There are a lot of events that you could go to and interact with the public. And this year, it's been just so hard. So what I've been doing is just door knocking, talking to people when I do get the chance to, using social media as an outlet just to let people know about me and also to hear from other people. And I'm really hoping that people do go on Carina for Mayor on my Facebook page, or email me to find out anything that you want to find out. I'm pretty open, I'm pretty outgoing, and I don't try to hide anything. So I'm transparent, which is something that is lacking in county government. But I am transparent, and I do hope that people just reach out to me as in how often and whenever they want to find out whatever they need to find out, because I do want people to know everything that they need to know about who their treasurer is, well, maybe in the future.
Okay. So I would ask you this: is knowing with COVID-19, one of the things that the county did is to seek out federal funding, the CARES Act funding,
Mhm.
$90 million, and that $90 million didn't come easy and didn't come without controversy. What's your understanding of what took place and any concerns that you may have in regards to the county seeking out that $90 million and having a little bit of an issue
Mhm.
with the state of Massachusetts?
I will say that Plymouth County, the commissioner is seeking the $90 million. I will applaud them on that because it was used to help small businesses in the different towns that are going through a really tough time during this pandemic. However, I will say that the letters that were written to the county officials about them relinquishing the money to the state said a lot about legislators' lack of trust in county government. It said a lot about the fact that people who were in the same party as the treasurer, did not trust him to disperse that money to the towns. It said a lot about the lack of integrity in the office. And I think that it should be a red flag to everyone why we should not elect this treasurer again.
Any concerns that I know that the Baker Polito administration expressed concern, and there was even rumblings of that the state made just didn't sit well with the state, and that it could cause further issues in regard to the relationship between the county and the state.
I was concerned, to be honest with you. And I'm still concerned that this might come back and we may find out in the future that something went wrong with how the money was dispersed. I am concerned based on the issues and the past scandals that have been linked to the treasurer's office, and that is I am concerned, and I do think that the state would have been better equipped to disperse that money. I mean, look at how the money, I mean, to be honest with you, it is an election year, so I didn't expect them to do anything sneaky, because I mean, you know, photo ops and everything, cameras were everywhere for the disbursement of that money, because it is an election year. So I figured they had to do a good job with it. They had to, because cameras were going to be on them, and it was a great re-election tactic, in my opinion. And I think that's exactly why they didn't want to relinquish that money to the state. It was a tactic. It was not about them not trusting the state. It was not them thinking that they could do a better job. It was the fact that it was an election year and they're trying to get reelected. He's trying to get reelected.
You know, it's the biggest struggle is whether we should keep county government. That's been an ongoing dialogue. Knowing that you have the county commissioners, knowing that there's been issues as far as financially, that there's been a budget deficit. What do you feel your job is if you are elected as treasurer in regards to helping the county be financially in a better place than it is today, and as it has been over the past few years?
Well, as county government, as county treasurer, I will focus more on the issues that have been going on in that office, and I'm focused on ensuring the people of the importance of county government. For instance, we have this what do you call it? I'm so sorry. The Registry of Deeds situation. So in Massachusetts, the Registry of Deeds is required to give the county 42% of its revenues, and instead we've been only getting 10%. And the treasurer has been in office for 14 years, and he said every election year that he's going to do something about it, and he has not done anything about it. And that's something that should have been fixed a long time ago. There is the dredge fund that's been sitting there for 4 years. I mean, as treasurer, you're responsible for making sure that you're dispersing the money in a way that is going to be productive to the county, and we're not wasting taxpayers' money. So when you invest $212,000 into a dredge that has not been used for 4 years, that just shows that you were not looking at the best interest of the county. You were just throwing money out there, and I don't think that's right. As treasurer, my top priority, my only priority, will be to put the interest of Plymouth County first. It will be to make sure that there is no nepotism in that office, that employees are held accountable when they make mistakes, that I hold myself accountable when I make mistakes, and I'm apologetic to the people. It'd be about serving the public and not myself, not my own interest. And that's what I hope to prove as treasurer of Plymouth County.
And if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Carina Mompelas. She is a candidate for Plymouth County Treasurer, and she is looking for your vote come November 3rd. Carina, we just have a couple of moments left here in our conversation. Is there anything that we haven't touched upon, but you want to make sure that you either talk about it or maybe reiterate anything that you've discussed?
Well, I do want to talk. Well, I think we talked about most of it, but I do want to tell people to just go on my website, carinamompelas.com, to find out more about me. And I repeat, carinamompelas.com, or you can also email me at carinafortreasurercm@gmail.com, or you can also go on my Facebook page. I do want to make sure I emphasize that the office is lacking ethics, it's lacking transparency, it's lacking honesty, and it's lacking, and the individuals in the office are lacking integrity. And it's time that we restore it. It is our duty as the people, as a democracy, to make sure that our government officials are serving us in the right way. And right now, that is not being done in the treasurer's office. So I'm really hoping that the constituents stand with me. I'm really hoping that you guys give me a chance to prove that I will do a better job at this position than what we've been receiving the past couple of years. I mean, for instance, the meetings are not even being filmed. I mean, that's transparency right there. What happened to transparency? Years ago, meetings used to be filmed, and now they're not being filmed. How we, the constituents, supposed to know what's going on in the budget and everything? I mean, honestly, it's evident that they're lacking transparency. It's evident that they're not doing their job the right way, and it is highly evident that they are not serving you the way that they're supposed to be serving you. So I really hope that you do go on my website, Carina Mompelas and .com, and that you do decide to vote for me on November 3rd for Plymouth County Treasurer.
Now, you mentioned the meetings. I'm taking that you're talking about the Plymouth County Commissioner meetings. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, because I know that it was
which the treasurer sits on. You sits in. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if he sits in on those meetings or if the treasurer is supposed to sit in on those meetings, but knowing that when it comes to financial ramifications and putting budgets together, that the county treasurer does play a significant role, as does the advisory board. What aspect are you looking forward to if you are elected? Whether it's the Register of Deeds and getting to know John Buckley, or the county commissioners. And again, we know there's 2 seats that are up for grabs. Yes. Is there any aspect of that you're looking forward to at least meeting these people and getting to know them?
Yes, of course. I do believe in any office. It's about working together to accomplish a common goal. And I look forward to working with the commissioners, and I look forward to just making sure that we're serving the interests of Plymouth County together. And I just hope that they want to work with me too.
And we've been speaking with Carina Mompelas. She is a candidate for Plymouth County Treasurer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for having me.
And again, our guest was Carina Mompelas. She is running for Plymouth County Treasurer. And we thank her for stopping by, and all the candidates who have made time to sit down in front of the camera or at least do it virtually to talk about their particular campaign. Again.